instructor here at my studio in Buffalo, New York, and I'm very excited about today's video because this is my balancing basics. I love balancing, and I think that having a dance background has really helped me be able to break down the building blocks of balancing so that my yogis can not only do a standing holding pose, but also be able to balance through transitional movements as well in their practice. So let's jump right in. First, what we want to talk about is opening up your foot. That is going to be your base and where all of the weight is being planted. So think about lifting the toes and then pressing them down into the mat so you're feeling that connection between your foot and the floor. Notice that you can feel the toes and the mounds of the toes, the ball of the foot, as well as the heel connected. From there, we're starting to think about our muscle engagement. So if we do this first, we're not trying to do everything all at once. So squeeze my muscles, lift one leg, balance, right? So we're rooting down. We're starting to squeeze. So I'm tightening through the muscles in my legs. I'm really feeling almost like a lift up of the kneecap, squeezing through the glutes, the abdominals. I will often bring my hands to this prayer position or heart position so that my hands are pressing so much so that it engages the whole upper part of my body as well. So firmly pressing the hands together. And then I'm keeping all of that muscle engagement while I then transition into my balance. So let's just play a little bit with lifting one leg. So I'm rooting down, I'm squeezing my muscles. As I begin to lift my other foot off the floor, I'm going to immediately lengthen through my spine. So now there's an oppositional pull happening that's going to equally distribute my weight. So hands are pressed. I start to press down into the foot, lift up through the crown of my head, and then lift that foot up. So just doing this alone, this tightening and lengthening can be really, really helpful in your balancing practice. I want to talk about one other thing though, and that is alignment. Alignment is so important. And sometimes when you're first starting out, or if you're having some challenges with balancing, doing this in front of a mirror is going to be really helpful because you can really see the position of your body. So when I say alignment, I'm talking about this stacking. And mostly it's happening with our ankle, our knee, our hip, and our shoulder. So if some of these are out of alignment or out of line, we will lose our balance. So for example, if I'm trying to balance and all of a sudden my shoulders start to come forward and I'm hinging at the waist, you can see how that's going to throw my body weight forward. If I start to lift a leg to balance, and instead of moving my leg inside of my hip in the joint, I take the hip along with me, you can see how that's going to throw my weight over to the side. So a lot of times we're having trouble balancing just because it's a tiny alignment issue. And unfortunately, even just a tiny little lift of the hip can really throw off our balance. So those are the pillars of the prep, is what I call it. So before anything is even happening, we're grounding into the foot, we're engaging the muscles, we're finding this oppositional pull, this lengthening up as I press down, and then we're holding our alignment, especially with our ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder. So just playing with this a little bit can be really helpful in identifying maybe where it is that you need to strengthen or may just need to focus your attention a little bit as you move through that part of the practice. So I hope that was helpful. In the next video, we'll be talking about tree pose, which is a standing balancing pose. We'll review these basics to get us into that prep, and then you can actually use it with an actual pose. So see you there. Thanks for watching.